Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom, the capital of Chu. Finally, I'm not poor anymore. Luo Feng was in a good mood as he stood in the guest official cave. Before exploring the dream domain, he was indeed quite poor. The guest official's merits were very few, and as for the cosmic sand, the value of the cosmic sand was too low. The 300 billion cosmic sands that the Chaos Realm Transcendent, Desolate Wind City Lord of the Thunder Ancient Kingdom used to redeem himself were only equivalent to 1,000,000 merits. The tens of thousands of reward points in the treasure land Infinite Space are indeed precious, but Luo Feng kept these reward points to exchange for the special inheritance of the second-level God King. After all, although resources are important, special inheritance is more important. It is too difficult to obtain reward points in the Infinite Space, and every expenditure must be made with great caution. More than 80 million merits are enough for me to live a luxurious life. Luo Feng immediately left the cave and went directly to the Emperor Chu Palace to pay a visit to his master. Inside the Emperor Chu Palace, Emperor Chu was practicing with great concentration when a dark and gigantic shadow appeared and descended, emitting an endless aura of destruction. It is too difficult to fully comprehend the complete great Tao of destruction origin. Emperor Chu opened his eyes. He had been suffering for too long and always felt that he was just a little bit away, but this little bit always blocked him. He is different from those who practice the chaotic origin bloodline. Emperor Chu uses treasures to cultivate himself into an ultimate life form. He is not influenced by the will of his bloodline. He can stay absolutely sober and comprehend the great Tao. I have learned 5 ultimate secrets so far, and my accumulation is deep enough. Emperor Chu thought, among the emperors, I can be ranked in the top 5, but I just can't break through. Only by mastering the complete great Tao can we continue to stay in the origin continent in the next era. Emperor Chu understood this. The threshold to leave the origin continent is the ultimate life form. Even if the origin continent is destroyed, they can continue to live in the outside world. But if they leave the continent of origin and lose the protection of their hometown, the origin world, the living environment will be thousands of times worse. The environment that the ancestors of the 2 kingdoms faced was so difficult and harsh. Only by staying in the origin continent and resisting the destruction and rebirth of the origin continent can they be recognized as native beings of the new era by the supreme rules of the origin continent. But to withstand the entire process of the destruction and rebirth of the origin world, one must understand a complete great Tao. Therefore, in the last era, only the ancestors of the East Pole territory and the 2 kingdoms, the 3 of them lived to the present era. Some of those who relied on external forces to cultivate into the ultimate life form, although they are still alive, have long left the origin continent. The protection of my hometown origin world is very important, and I must comprehend the complete great Tao. Emperor Chu is also ambitious. The royal god king of the 2 ancient kingdoms all have desires. The first step they aspire to is to become an emperor or monarch. On the one hand, they are eligible to leave the origin continent and live a long life. On the other hand, their strength and status will be improved, and they can obtain more resources. The second step is to master the complete great Tao. In this era of the 2 ancient kingdoms, only Emperor Qing could do it. The Emperor Fu was willing to reincarnate and give up his chaotic origin bloodline to practice cultivation in order to achieve this goal. Emperor Chu looked outside and saw his disciple Luo Feng had already arrived at the door of the hall.
Master.
Luo Feng bowed respectfully outside.
Come in.
Emperor Chu smiled. He was very satisfied with his disciple Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was only at the first-level God King, had outstanding achievements that surpassed history. He was looking forward to his disciple's future achievements. The disciple is strong. Maybe he can help his master. Luo Feng immediately walked into the hall. I heard that you recently established a sect called Blade River Sect, Da. Emperor Chu said with a smile. Let ordinary cultivators have more opportunities to practice, Luo Feng said. He really didn't care. At his level, what good would it do him even if the sect became stronger? Even if it was great, what would it do to cultivate 3 or 5 god kings? Luo Feng himself could easily differentiate into hundreds of powerful clones. This was how the cultivation path was. The stronger the strength, the number of weaklings were all meaningless. Master, I came here today to ask if there is any way to buy the 5-color treasure medicine, Luo Feng said. 5-color treasure medicine? Emperor Chu's eyes lit up and he smiled. I used this 5-color treasure medicine before, and it worked very well. A portion of this 5-color treasure medicine is worth 10 million merits. Can you afford it now? The disciple's cultivation time was relatively short, and he had accumulated such wealth. I haven't done much as a guest official, Luo Feng said, but I did get some treasures by chance which I can exchange. It's a small matter. I can buy it for you, Emperor Chu said. But the royal family also has rules. The royal family must use the treasures they exchange for themselves. If they exchange them for trading with the outside world, the exchange price is the same as the guest official exchange price. This is also to prevent the royal family's god king from emptying the treasury. Luo Feng nodded. As long as there is a price difference, the royal god king can make a lot of money as a dealer. Obviously, the two ancient kingdoms have long blocked this possibility. The 5-color treasure medicine is scarce. I can only buy 2 for you at most, Emperor Chu said. Each one is worth 10 million merits. Thank you, master. Luo Feng was overjoyed. For treasures of this level, the guest elders can only redeem them once in their lifetime, and they need to make sufficient contributions. As the Emperor Chu can only buy 2 at most. If it were in the outside world, Luo Feng would probably have paid a much greater price. This 5-colored treasure medicine is made from the heart of a world beast that surpasses the God King level and other materials. Once taken, it is as if you are a part of the great Tao of destruction origin, which is of great benefit to your practice, Emperor Chu said. A world beast that surpasses the God King level? Luo Feng was curious. On the origin continent, there is only the world beast from Heavenly Wood Kingdom, and it is only at the ultimate God King level. The world beasts above the God King are certainly not from our origin world. Emperor Chu did not hide it from Luo Feng. I also asked the ancestor back then, and the ancestor told me about this. That is a very powerful calamity beast from another origin world. It has broken the limit of fate and cultivated to a level above the God King. But after leaving the origin world, it is not easy to cultivate. So it uses its own heart and some materials to refine the 5-colored treasure medicine. The ancestor also bought some and left them in the royal family. Emperor Chu said, for that world beast, the heart is used to refine medicine, and it can be cultivated back after a little time. Luo Feng was surprised when he heard this. Is it the 5-colored treasure medicine that the beast made by itself? How difficult is it to kill a beast beyond the God King level and leave a complete body? With such a huge price, even if you refine a treasure medicine, will it be your turn? Emperor Chu laughed. It was the beast that refined it itself, and it was refined in large quantities and sold to the ancestors. That's why the price is relatively low, and you can afford it. Luo Feng nodded. It's not easy for that world beast either. He has broken the limit of fate and become above the God King, but he still has to use himself to refine medicine. The body of the world beast is very special, and it fits perfectly with the destruction origin. It is also a powerful world beast, and the greater the value of its body material, the more valuable it is. Emperor Chu said, the world beast above the God King, his heart, blood, bones, everything. They can all be refined into treasures to assist in cultivation. In fact, the 5-color treasure medicine is only the best auxiliary treasure for great Tao of destruction origin. Emperor Chu said, there are better auxiliary treasures. I have used them before. Better? Luo Feng's mind moved. World Beast Blood Talisman. Emperor Chu said, it was also made by the Beast Senior above the God King himself. Using his own blood, one talisman requires 100 million merits. Once used, it can temporarily condense into a complete, great Tao of destruction origin in the body within a period of time. One talisman can last for about 3 epochs. Luo Feng was surprised. Prepare a treasure worth 100 million merits, and I will buy you one. Emperor Chu said with a smile, I practice the destruction origin, so I am eligible to exchange for another one. Okay. Luo Feng nodded. From what I know, this is the best auxiliary treasure for the great Tao of destruction origin. Emperor Chu said, want something better? I guess you'll have to find the ancestor. It's already very good. Luo Feng was very excited. Before this, he didn't even know about the World Beast Blood Talisman. Everyone says that I'm not good at teaching my disciples. Emperor Chu looked at Luo Feng. I know myself well. I'm not good at teaching people. Luo Feng, you are the absolute number 1 in the Chaos Realm Transcendent and the absolute number 1 in the first level God King. I didn't teach you anything. It's just that you have a high talent. What I, as master, can do is try to help you with resources. Emperor Chu said, of course, you still need to provide the treasures yourself. I am also very poor. Luo Feng smiled. You need these treasures for the great Tao of destruction. What about the great Tao of life and the great Tao of matter? Emperor Chu asked. What treasure do you need? Do you need my help? Luo Feng was very touched. Because he could always face the complete great Tao of life origin, Luo Feng had indeed gone much further on this road than on the great Tao of the destruction origin, and had long begun to try to merge the branches of the great Tao. Master, I still need the life material of the 24 phases formed, Luo Feng said. I don't need much, just a little flesh and blood and scales. Is there any way to buy them? 24 phase form? Emperor Chu frowned slightly. 24 phases form. It is one of the many forms that the great Tao of life origin takes on when it reaches its ultimate. It is one of the many forms that appear. This form is very special. Luo Feng listened. The chaotic origin bloodline life form, cultivated in the origin continent, has very powerful life forms. Emperor Chu said, although their intelligence is relatively low, the chaotic origin bloodline life form at the chaos realm level is also the thinnest bloodline, so it can produce the 10 directions world life form. Luo Feng nodded, guarded Xiangjie City by himself, and collected some materials. As for those with richer blood, I have never heard of any creature with 24 phases form in the first level God King. Emperor Chu said, there are very few creatures with 24 phases form in the second level God King. The life forms of the chaotic origin bloodline creatures at the ultimate God King level are extremely powerful, and many of them are beyond the 24 phases formed. As for above the God King, that is the true chaotic origin life form, an existence that has jumped out of the cage. Emperor Chu said. Luo Feng nodded. The common characteristics of creatures with chaotic origin bloodline are extremely high life essence, low wisdom, and low realm, which also means that they can only exert very little physical potential. Like the true chaotic origin life form above the God King, it is clearly an existence that has jumped out of the cage. The strength that can be exerted is not necessarily as good as that of the ancestors of the two kingdoms. The two ancient kingdoms are strictly guarding against the creatures with the ultimate God King bloodline, and they will never be passed on to others. Emperor Chu looked at Luo Feng, because extracting their bloodline makes it easier to become an emperor or monarch, unless you have a treasure that the first ancestor would be tempted by, and the first ancestor would make an exception for you. Emperor Chu said, we emperors and monarchs have no right to give it to you, not even a drop of blood. Luo Feng understood. A creature with the chaotic origin bloodline of the second level God King is theoretically the best chaotic origin bloodline that a guest official can obtain. Emperor Chu said, the threshold is also extremely high. I only need a few materials. Luo Feng said, I will help you find a way to get some materials at a price. Emperor Chu said, but I advise you to start with the Thunder Ancient Kingdom. Thunder Ancient Kingdom is better at cultivating chaotic origin bloodline creatures than our Flame Wind Ancient Kingdom. They have more and it is easier to obtain them.